Hi, guys. I'm Summer,
And I'm Carolina
and we're sleep consultants.
for 21 years combined and really great friends for like 2 months.
We have our own kids. I have two kids over 18.
And I have two kids under 18.
We have worked with over 1,000 families combined. That's a lot of kids.
That's so many kids. And we also run our own sleep consulting practices and we mentor other sleep consultants.
That's a lot of things that we do.
Yeah, but you know what? Our goal really is to bring peace and less stress into your homes.
And that's why we decided to do a podcast together. Call it For the Love of Sleep.
I just love that. So, if you guys want some sleep tips, laugh, and know how we get through all these things, come on down and listen to our podcast.
Hey, everyone. This is Summer from Summer Sleep Secrets.
And I'm Carolina from carolinaromaniuk.com.
All right. So we're super excited to bring on a guest speaker, Tara Williams. And she is, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here. Tara Williams, I'm the founder of Dreamland Baby. So we sell weighted sleep sacks and blankets for infants and children.
Awesome. So I wanted to talk a little bit about how you got started. I know you mentioned it in the email, we've talked on the phone, but tell our audience kind of like how you got into the baby making with blankets.
Yeah. So probably like everybody listening, I had a baby that didn't sleep, but he was still waking up every hour and a half at 6 months old, which is like a newborn. And we had bought everything. We had tried everything. One night I had a heavy throw blanket that I laid on top of him just from our couch. And I noticed he immediately calmed down. And it was just this, it was so immediate. And it was like this calm that we had never seen because he was colicky and fussy. Like he always had a uncomfortable looking, like look on his face.
Mm-hmm.
And so right away I thought, oh, he needs a weighted blanket. And I remember being so excited. I like raced to my computer and I jumped onto Amazon first and looked for it. And I was like, what the heck? There's nothing in a wearable fashion. And then I got onto Google and again, same thing. Like there were loose weighted blankets, but as we know, according to AAP guidelines, no loose blankets in the crib under 2. And we are very safe sleep follower sticklers. So I'm like, well, those won't work. So I called my mother-in-law. She sews and she sewed our first one. We got about 2 weeks later, took her 15 hours to make,
Wow.
but the first night he wore it, he slept for 12 hours. So it was just this absolute sleep transformation. Like immediately first night, we could not believe it. And we thought, oh, it's got to be a fluke. But next day he had been taking probably like 30-minute naps. He wouldn't even really nap. It would just be, he'd be kind of dazing in and out. He took like a 3-hour nap. And then that night he slept through the night again. And we were just like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. So we started just telling friends and family, and it was like 10 out of 10 people right away just said, oh, can your mother-in-law make me one? Or that would have been so awesome when my child was a baby, we stacked blankets, or, we co-slept, but didn't want to, just all these different scenarios of unsafe sleep practices that they felt like the weighted blanket could have helped. So it was really clear from the beginning, it was a product that a big gap in the market and a product that people want and need. So
That's amazing.
Yeah. Thank you.
I have to say, I think it would have helped quite a few of my clients in the past before it came out, because babies do tend to feel that you see these inventive parents trying to like soothe their child with like a sock that's weighted with rice or something on their belly. So you just kind of like, weight does tend to calm them down. So it makes sense. Do you have any questions, Carolina? No?
No, not really. I want to know, well, like the different product lines that you guys also have, because you have the sleep sack, but then you also, I think, came out with the actual blanket.
Yeah.
And how does a sleep sack actually work when you're using it as a tool? Because that's the main thing, like what me and Summer always talk about is we don't just focus on a product as like the one all and be all solution. It's to be used as a tool to help with sleep.
Right.
So how would you, let's say this is a good question. And this was like something for me that I had challenges with is my kids never slept in a sleep sack. Like I didn't even know what they were until I started it in this field. So if it's a parent that has never even had one before, how would you even try and introduce it?
Yeah, great question. So it's, I would say it's a sleep sack is pretty similar to just a blanket, but it's wearable. So the bottom is closed up. So from a baby's perspective, I don't think they would feel any different being in a sleep sack versus a blanket. The concept of the sleep sack actually started with the founder of Halo, Bill Schmidt, in the 90s. His child died of SIDS. And again, loose blankets in the crib, very dangerous. And so he came up with the concept of, we all want to put something cozy and comfortable on our babies, and we don't want them to be cold. So the alternative is a sleep sack. So that's really, the AAP actually does recommend sleep sacks, spare crib, if they're cold, sleep sack. So that's a concept of it. So I don't think if your baby's never slept with it, I don't think there's any, it would not be any different than a regular blanket. But going back to the different sizes. So when we first launched, we had a small that was 0 to 6 months, and then a medium that was 6 to 12 months. But as soon as we launched, we started getting parents that saying, my 12-month-old isn't sleeping, my 18-month-old isn't sleeping. And that was so foreign to me. I could not, because I have 4 kids, and the first 3 slept reasonably, I would say pretty well. They were pretty good sleepers right out the gate. But then my baby, it was untenable to be still waking up at 6 months. I could not imagine if that had gone on for 12 months, 18 months, 24 months. We have parents now that are like, my 4-year-old still doesn't sleep. And I'm like, you have not slept in 4 years. And it's not like a newborn, but they wake up one time every night and come in the room or something like that. So right away, it was, people were reaching out and saying, could you make bigger sizes? As soon as we launched. So then we came out with a 12 to 24 month. And then those babies started graduating up. And so we just keep making bigger sizes. And that was the idea for the weighted blanket. So we had a lot of questions for that. And we actually, parents want them for their teenagers and for themselves. So we'll see. We might just keep making them bigger and bigger and bigger. I know. Everybody's like, get my size.
Well, that's amazing. And I know, we all need it. My daughter just got one this weekend from my in-laws. They sent one to her. So she loves weighted blankets. Wow. I think what makes your product, I actually haven't seen one yet. So I'm waiting for my product to come in. But what material do you use? Is it super soft? What kind of materials?
So for the sleep sacks, we use a lightweight 100% cotton knit. So it was really important to me to make sure it was that 100% cotton. I know, other brands use different materials that have some stretch to it, but really for those babies that have delicate skin or eczema or anything that can cause a rash, 100% cotton is always going to be the best. And then it's really lightweight. So I think some parents also see our product and think, ooh, weighted blanket, is it going to be heavy, a risk of overheating? But the TOG on this is 0.6. So it's pretty much as low as you can go. The beads don't actually create any heat. It's just from the fabric. And again, it's a lightweight 100% cotton knit. So it can be used in the winter with a warmer fleece pajama underneath, or even in the summer with just a onesie. So it really is, I wanted something that was a year-round solution. And then our weighted blankets actually are really cool. They have 2 sides to them. So one side is a micro fleece. It's super warm. Actually, I have it right here. I sit with it on my chair. Side, and the second you put it on, you're just immediately heated up. So perfect for the winter. But then this side is it's you can't feel it obviously, but it's buttery smooth, and it's a chenille fabric, so it's lighter weight and moisture wicking. So perfect for the summer, where you still want something heavy on you, but you don't want to be hot. And then in this one, we use micro glass beads, so they're hypoallergenic, non-toxic, non-recycled, super clean. Really nice. And then the other differentiating piece that I just love on these, that I've never seen this before, we have lined the entire outside with a satin trim.
So I like that.
You have those kids that like to rub something on their skin. This really gives it an elevated, luxurious feel. Our company, we wanted to have the most premium products and the most premium materials. And all our products are Oikotech standard 100 certified. And, we really source the best materials, and it shows in the construction and all that. But it was important to me as a mom. You can get a weighted blanket on Amazon, but you don't know what it's made of. You don't know what's in it. So I think it's really important if it's going to be on your child every day for 8, 10, 12 hours that you know it's clean materials.
That's perfect. I love that. And I love the satin. I actually, I had a blanket that I liked myself when I was a kid, and I still have it like stuffed away in the closet. I'm 43.
I need to see
Still
that.
have it. And I will, I'll show you. It's totally gross, but it's, but it had the satin on it.
Yes.
And so I rubbed it to sleep. And I did it. I took it with me to college and to like all my jobs. I mean, I literally was like, the thing's a rag now. It's disgusting. It's probably just going to fall apart if I show you anything. But it is that I love that you did that, because it's something that kids like to rub. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you love your love. You kept it for a long time. I have like a mommy question, because the moment you showed it to me, I'm like, how do you clean this thing then? Like,
all machine washable, so you can wash them right in the machine.
That's my son being annoying. Sorry. I have a 20-year-old. So
you said they're all machine washable, and you can dry them regularly, so nothing's going to, like, no beads, nothing's going to come out, which I know they're not, but the mommy brain in me is like, what if something
the sleep socks, you can machine wash and machine dry. We recommend on low cycle. You can also hang them, like hang dry them. That I think would probably give you the longest life, but they really are constructed and built, the sleep sacks, to have many, many washings, because we know babies spit up, they have blowouts, like you're going to be washing that a lot. These are machine washable, but they're actually lay flat to dry. So they don't go in the dryer because of the materials on them is different.
So we have to make sure our clients know, don't put this in the dryer, let it air dry.
Yeah, it's just for the blanket, and it's
okay.
It's like right on there. I'm trying to look for the tag. Yeah, it has all the tag information right on it. And that's really only because of these materials. If you put them in the dryer, they get kind of like junky looking. So it's just the lay flat to dry.
I have to imagine a lot of people probably still put it in the dryer, not paying attention to those instructions. Have you had anybody complain about that?
No, we haven't. And we did a survey on the weighted blankets, because I wasn't sure, are they the right size? Like, they're indicated for children age 3 to 8. So in my house, my almost 3-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old, and 8-year-old all use that. My husband keeps, like, clearly you can see I have it on my chair. So I always have it with me. But even my husband has one, which is so funny, because he was not like the biggest fan of the brand when we first launched. And that's like a whole nother story. Wanted me to get a job, and I was pursuing this, but it was really funny because he kind of sheepishly came to me and he was like, "Oh, can you get me one of those weighted blankets?" And so I was like, "Sure, no problem." So yeah, we all sleep with it, like just cozy up with it. I'll walk into, we have a nanny, like I work full time. I have a full-time nanny. And I'll walk into our living room and see her reading a book with my son, and like they're cozying under it. So the weighted blanket is great for, even like my kids will keep it on their lap for school, because they're all on virtual now. So there's so many different applications in just when you want to calm down and relax and just like be comfortable, and then also helping for sleep at night.
I love it. I think this is an amazing product. I'm going to have to definitely order one. So the other question is since let's go back to your husband. When you do have an unsupporting mate, when you're launching something, how did you handle that? I mean, a lot of people don't understand the back end of creating a product.
Yeah. So we had just such a crazy story. My kids are all 5.5 years apart. So when I had my fourth, my oldest was 5.5. So they're really close. And we, the day before my son was born, my baby Luke, my husband was laid off from his job of 15 years. Like, he had been there since college at an internship. And when I was on maternity leave, I was laid off from my job. So I was with a startup, and they didn't get their second round of funding, and they closed their doors. And so all of a sudden we found ourselves both in this crisis where we have no income and nobody's making money, going from a 2-income household. And this was in 2018, which I know I can empathize. A lot of people are dealing with that right now. Like, our COVID, world pandemic crisis happened like 2 years ago for us. And it was really stressful. And so we knew just based off the job he had that he probably wouldn't find employment for like 6 to 12 months. But with the job I had, like I could more easily plug into something. And so he was really pushing me to, go back to work at a minimum, just so we could have health insurance. We were paying over like, I don't know, $10,000 a month for, 6 people. So I started the company but when I had the idea, I knew if I was interviewing, but I just felt from like an ethics and moral standpoint, I can't in good faith look at an employer and be like, I want to be here. Because I didn't. I wanted to be creating this product and like going full steam with it. So there was a lot of tension. He actually used to call the company Wasteland Baby. Like it was a waste of time. I know.
Well,
Cruel.
I love your husband for sticking it out with you though, because a lot of times mates can be very it makes us want to quit what we're doing and we know it's a good product. So I'm proud that he stayed with it. But
well, I think it actually like lit a fire under me because I was like, I'm going to prove you wrong 100 times over. I'm going to make more money than you one day. And, like, you're going to be asking for one of my products to sleep with at night one day.
And he's
Great.
himself now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did great. So, well, and thank you for sharing. That's an intimate story to share with the audience. One of the things I wanted to ask specifically from you is, how did you get on Shark Tank? Like, how did you battle through that process? And what's it been like afterwards?
Yeah. Well, the funniest thing was when I arrived in Los Angeles, Burbank is where they film. And I'm like on set, ABC sets. Like I was a movie star for one day. I mean, it truly was an unreal once in a lifetime. Like you go in a trailer, they do your hair and makeup, like you're a movie star.
Yeah.
And I remember getting onto set and the producer came up to me and he said, "You are the most persistent person we have ever had on the show. I don't think anyone has ever wanted to be on here as bad as you."
Wow.
And I laughed, but I'll back up and tell you why. So there's a really short form that you submit online and it doesn't even give you the option to have a lot of information. You're more just like, hey, here's my product, here's my story, and you click submit. And so I got an email a few days later from the executive producer and he said, "Can you get on a call tomorrow? We're interested in your story." I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't think anyone would even read it. And so we're talking and he's like, "I love, like, this is crazy. 4 kids, 5 and under, like you and your husband are laid off. Like it's a good TV show, right? Like the TV situation." And he said, weighted blankets are super hot. They're around for kids and adults and dogs. Like it's so obvious that we agree. Like, why isn't there one? Nobody could believe that the product didn't exist. That was the thing. They were like, this product has to exist. And he said, "You're sure? Like it doesn't exist?" I'm like, "It does not exist. Trust me." Like I made it. And so then we got to the point where he said, "All right, like, tell me about your sales." And that is when the music stopped. It was like, like I said, "Well, I'm pre-launch right now." And he was no longer interested. He was like, "All right, well, just let me know like whenever you launch and like, we'll be in touch, like see you later," pretty much. And I was like, wait. And so then I said, "Well, I'm going to do a Kickstarter." And he said, "Okay, that's interesting. When?" And like, I had no plans. And I was like, like maybe in like a month. And he was like, "All right, well, like get in touch with me then." So I started making, you guys, so weird, these video clips of myself.
Okay.
And I, "Hey Max, it's Tara. Just wanted to let you know we filmed today for the Kickstarter. We're still on track for a May 1st launch. Like, hope you have a great day." And I would email them to him, and he literally write back and be like, "Okay, thanks for the update." Like he was just like, what is happening here? And so I kept sending him these video messages of me. And the reason I thought to do that was because I wanted him, we're talking about being on national television. So I wanted him to see that I can, speak and coherently put together a sentence and be excited on air and be somebody that America would be rooting for.
Right.
Like was we were down on our luck and, people can see, they're in the same spot. So I wanted him to see that. But anyways, I made all these video clips and then ultimately he was like, "Fine, you can come on the show."
That's the best.
Like I'm waving the white flag. Don't send me another video clip. So then I got matched up with an assistant producer, and that was in July of 2019. And then I worked with them all summer until August of 2019, and then we filmed in LA, and then it didn't air until May of 2020.
Process.
Process.
Okay, so it didn't air until 2020. Sorry, it got stuck there for a second. So you said it didn't air till May 2020?
That's right.
Okay. Oh, wow. So yeah, that is a long process. And you know what? You're well worth it. I mean, anyone who's willing to fight as hard as you were, you should be on the show. Absolutely. I mean, it proves it works because my kids did, and not that it's the same thing, but my kid did the same thing with working for Chipotle. He went in there every single day for 6 months and said, can I work now? Can I work now? Finally, the manager was like, I'm done. Just come in Monday morning.
I love it. Persistence. That is going to get you everywhere in life.
Exactly. So that's perfect. So I'm really excited to see your product when it comes in and actually try it with my clients. Yeah. See, I'm a little bit different from Carolina. I work as a newborn care specialist. So I actually just had a baby born yesterday or the day before, Tuesday. And so I start with them Sunday night, and then I'll be with her for 8 weeks. So, you know, I get to actually be in the homes and use your products, and my clients will buy it. And so Carolina, she's a sleep consultant working with moms and gives them a list. So yeah, we're excited to use it. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience that kind of about any more about your product?
Yeah, just I have given you 2 lovely ladies 15% off code. So you can definitely share that with your anybody you're sleep training. And you know, I think what you mentioned at the beginning was really a perfect statement that it's not just the product. We work really closely with sleep consultants. And that is to say, you need to have the other sleep pieces in place. So when I talk about my son having this dramatic sleep transformation, like we weren't rocking him to sleep. We were putting him to sleep in a crib, in his room, on his own, awake, so he could try to get these different skills. And he just needed something a little bit more. So it is really great in conjunction with working with a sleep consultant to then have a tool, like you said, which is Dreamland Baby, to just get them over that hump. And it becomes an association. So my son, as soon as he would see it, he would actually cry because he knew it was bedtime. And then we'd say, oh, come on, buddy. Like, you know, and he's like, okay. So he'd put it on, but he knew like when that was on him and he was laying in his crib, like it was time for him to go to sleep. And he knew that as soon as it came out, he'd know it. And now that he's older, he'll just go get it and put it right on his own. So it's been a really fun evolution to see him. But yeah, it's absolutely a great tool to use really for any scenario. And if you are, you know, nursing to sleep or whatever, like it's good to help you get on the right path with this as a tool.
Yeah, I think it would be amazing. Go ahead, Carolina.
No, I was just saying that I'm also like, while you were talking, I was also just thinking of other ways that you could introduce it, where even with newborns, like once they're coming out of the swaddle stage, sometimes we go into like other products to help them to transition out of it, where they still need that touch, especially for reflux cases. So this would be something that would help a lot. But again, you were wonderful where you already had the basics with your son. So you had the foundation set and you just needed like that little bit of help. And that's what you did and what you created. And I love that this came out because I myself, my son is 10 and my youngest is 8. So when they were born, I was looking for something like this. I'm like, why is this not created? I was Googling it. And I'm like, I don't have time to do this. Like someone will create it. Like eventually it will come out or I'll find it because I don't have time right now because I got to go put him to bed. So thank you for you actually not just coming up with an idea, but taking action on it. Because that's what makes you different, because the steps that you take, we all have divine downloads or we all have ideas, but it's the person that actually puts it in action that makes the world better. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you guys. It means a lot.
Yeah, this is perfect. Thank you for coming on. We're really appreciative. And if you have any more products, you're welcome to come back on and do a video with us and share your new products as they come out. But I think that for today, we're going to go ahead and end it with thank you so much for coming on. And I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thanks so much.